Just like all money ain't good money, all help isn't actually helpful. Beware of the helping hand that comes with an ulterior motive. That's what we're talking about today. On this channel, we talk about defeating life's devils, detecting deception, and navigating the twists, turns, and trials of life with biblical wisdom, resilience, and grace. If you find value here, please subscribe, share the videos, and let's get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. I know with your help, we can reach that goal. Sometimes what happens is a person will come into your life. This can be for the purposes of business, a romantic relationship, or just a platonic friendship. And they will seem like the answer to your prayers. But if you are not mindful and careful, not paranoid, but mindful and careful, you will find that you will let someone into the inner workings of your life that doesn't have good intentions for you, and that may have been watching you from afar, seeing how you're growing, seeing how you're thriving, seeing the blessings that you have, and blessings aren't always material. And they want access to those things at your expense, and unbeknownst to you, while you're thinking they're coming to help you, they're actually coming to see how they can exploit you. You got to be mindful. I'm going to give you a scripture in a moment, but I want to look at this. If you remember the movie Selena, I reference this movie a lot. And in the movie Selena, she was a beautiful singer who had a beautiful voice, was really beginning to gain traction also in the US, and she was loved by many. And so she meets this woman named Yolanda, who seems like the answer. So Yolanda comes basically saying, I am your biggest fan. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. I am your biggest fan. I want to grow your fan club. And she comes under the guise of helping Selena, right? Helping with the fan club, helping with the business. And so she seems like an answer to a prayer, but she had ulterior motives. And so sometimes what happens is when a person sees the favor of God on your life, and when a person sees your giftings, your talents, and sometimes we don't even see how powerful we are, how influential we are, but you best believe that Satan sees it. Satan sees it, and this is why he will send people to come into your life to try to derail, distract, and destroy your destiny. For those of you who were on our Wednesday wellness call that we had yesterday, we talked about destiny swapping, and we talked about what it looks like, and we talked about specifically the warfare, the spiritual and psychological warfare around your destiny, and how you cannot be naive about that. If you want access to our Wednesday wellness calls, they happen the first and third Wednesday of every month, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Become a member of the Cassandra Mack YouTube channel at the wellness tier, and you will have access to the live calls as well as the replays. The Wednesday Wellness Club is a therapeutic group that focuses on mental well-being, emotional healing, psychological self-care through a biblical lens. The link is in the description box. So she comes, meaning Yolanda, in Selena's life as her biggest fan, wanting to expand her fan base, wanting to run the fan club, and she really looks like she's offering help. And the father from the gate had a bad feeling about Yolanda, but Yolanda basically love bombed Selena, knew just how to come in and say the right things. And so she looked like she was helping. But the very woman who claimed to be Selena's biggest fan turned out to be Selena's biggest hater, and she was stealing from her, and she ended up killing Selena in the end. And so it was very sad, very tragic for this beautiful young woman to die at the hands of someone who had ill intentions for her. And so we might not have the singing ability and the platform like Selena, but the essence of the story is true for anybody who is moving forward in their gifts, their destiny, who is cultivating their talents. Anybody moving forward in their gifts and talents, you are going to come across people who will see what it is you do well. It could be a talent for cooking. It could be a talent for gardening. Don't think that it has to be something that is highly visible. And they will see that thing. They will come like they're trying to help and will want to destroy what you're building. It can be the closeness that you have with your children, and that triggers their envy because they don't have that. And rather than just looking into their own life to see what God has placed inside of them, right? Because the scriptures tell us your gifts will make room for you. My gifts make room for me. Your gifts make room for you. Your gifts can't make room for me, and my gifts can't make room for you. And that's where a lot of people who really struggle with envy and they don't give it to God, and they struggle with insecurity and they don't give it to God. And we all may feel envious at times or insecure, but the difference in the life of the believer is that we got to put that on the altar so that God can create a clean heart in us and renew a right spirit in us. We are to put that on the altar with the understanding that God is the potter and we are the clay, so that he is molding us into who he desires us to be, molding us to be more and more like Christ, reflecting the fruit of the Spirit. And that's a one day at a time thing, right? But when you have somebody who's not willing to grow, who's not willing to yield to God, and who feels entitled to your life, entitled to your blessings, entitled to the things that you are building, entitled to the things that you have worked hard for, and that goes unchecked and undisciplined, that's a dangerous person to be around. And a lot of times they come bearing gifts. They come smiling. A lot of times enemies are hidden enemies. They're not going to be up front, right? Not too many people are going to say, the reason I'm befriending you is because I want to get close to your husband. The reason I'm befriending you is because I want to wreak havoc with your children. The reason I'm befriending you is because, and then you can insert the blanks. So most people, right, when they're operating in that spirit of deception, the goal is to keep you in the darkness about their true intent. So you got to be mindful, because if you ever heard the saying, all money ain't good money, all money ain't good money, right? The same thing applies for help. All help ain't good help. And so that saying, all money ain't good money, comes from the perspective that some money you need to turn down because it comes with strings attached. It comes with some heavy consequences. It comes with some things that will get you in a bind. And so sometimes help comes that way when you don't really know the person's heart, when you don't know where they're coming from. And so it's not to say we can't accept help. Everything is about being prayerful. Being prayerful, using your discernment. Being prayerful, using your discernment. So Proverbs 23, verses 6 through 8. It says, do not eat the bread of a man who is stingy. Do not desire his delicacies, for he is like one who is inwardly calculating. Eat and drink, he says, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the morsels that you have eaten and waste your pleasant words. And so it says, do not eat the bread of a stingy man, meaning a stingy individual, man or woman. Do not eat the bread of someone who is selfish, right? Because inwardly they're calculating. And so when you think about Yolanda, who proposes to Selena that she's going to run this fan club, expand her fan club, that she is her biggest fan, inwardly she's calculating how she can get the most from Selena, how she can exploit Selena. And when she begins to gain Selena's trust to the point where she's handling the finances, some of the finances, it comes out that she's stealing from her. And so she was calculating inwardly, even though she came with the disguise that she was sharing her delicacies, which means her help, right? Delicacies doesn't have to mean food, but she's presenting something that seems like it is delectable, that seems like it is a delight, that seems like it is coming at the right time to meet a need, when in actuality it's not going to meet a need. It's a trap. So it says, do not eat the bread, right? Proverbs 23, 6 through 8, of a man who is stingy. Don't even desire his delicacies, For he is like the one who is inwardly calculating. Eat and drink, he says, but his heart is not with you. So Yolanda's heart was never with Selena. And some of you have people around you who are smiling in your face, who are saying the right words, but their heart ain't with you. Their heart is not with you. Anytime you get a blessing, watch their eyes. Watch their eyes. Anytime something good happens in your life, discern what's really going on when you're around them. Are they truly rejoicing when you're rejoicing? Or are they calculating how they could profit off of your blessings? And we are to share. We're blessed to be a blessing. But there's a difference between blessing people as God leads you and having somebody watching your life praying, Preying, not praying, Praying, praying. So being predatory towards your favor, your gifts, and feeling entitled to the things that God has for you and exploiting you unbeknownst to you. So you got to be mindful, because it's saying that they saying eat and drink. So she's saying, I'm your biggest fan. I want you to eat and drink of this situation that I'm bringing to you. I want you to eat and drink of this help. Eat and drink, accept. Eat and drink means accept. It's not only literal, it's literal and it's figurative. It's both. So eat and drink of this help that I'm going to expand your fan base because I'm your biggest fan. But in reality, she was her biggest hater. So eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the morsels that you have eaten, meaning you will regret it. You will regret it and waste your pleasant words. So be mindful. It's not a call to be paranoid. God doesn't want his children to be paranoid, but he wants us to be sober-minded and vigilant. He wants us to vet people by way of testing the spirit. He wants us to vet people by understanding that you know people by their fruit, not your fruit. Their fruit, not your fruit. So you may have the fruit of kindness, compassion, trustworthiness, but that doesn't mean that everybody who comes into your life is bearing that same fruit. So be mindful, be careful, not paranoid, and do know that just like all money ain't good money, baby, all help ain't good help. And so just be careful. So with that being said, I want to let you know about a couple of things that we got going on. This Monday, we start our series on mean women in the church. Yes, we're talking about mean women in the church. And we're going to talk about how to keep it classy as a woman of God when you're in the church and other women are coming at you with maliciousness, meanness, messiness. And this happens and people don't want to talk about this. Men are encouraged and welcome to attend as well. So this is going to be a class that's open to those of you who are members of the Cassandra Mack YouTube channel at the wellness tier. So make sure to join the channel, become a member so that you can access the live stream. It's happening this coming Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in New York City, so whatever time zone you're in, just, make those adjustments. And we're going to be doing it in two parts. So in part one, we're going to be talking about the different mean women archetypes that you're likely to encounter in church settings so that you are not surprised and caught off guard when you encounter these different personality or archetypes. So we're going to be talking about that on Monday. And then in part two, we're going to be talking about, how do you deal with them? How do you keep yourself in a place of grace when you're dealing with women who are being mean and messy? And this can translate to the job, but the focus is going to be the church because this is something that a lot of my members have asked me to do. And so I'm doing this class because this is what you have asked. And again, we encourage and welcome men to come too, because many of the principles you can apply regardless of your gender. So I want to make sure you know about that. And on Saturday, November 23rd, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm having a vision board workshop to help you end this year strong and start the new year with a clear focus for your goals. So many people have made vision boards, and I tend to say a lot of vision boards are more like smorgasbords where there's everything on the vision board. Or you call it a vision board, but it's more like a collage because vision boards need to be intentional. And so we're going to be doing what I call a 5-fold vision board. So we're going to be laser beam focused so that you can begin to put things in place this year so that you can begin to bear fruit in 2025 towards your goals, towards the primary things that you want to achieve in 2025 in the different areas of your life, whether that's health and fitness, whether that's financial, whether it's career, entrepreneurship, spiritual growth, personal growth, emotional healing, mental well-being, whatever area of your life. We're going to be looking at how do you create a fivefold vision board. So the Bible tells us, write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it may run with it. And so the beauty of the vision board is it allows you to do just that, to write the vision and make it plain through the pictures, the words that you put on your vision board, so that you can hit the ground running. Because the goal of a vision board is not to make a beautiful collage. The goal is to actually hit the ground running with your vision using the pictorial tool that you create called a vision board as the catalyst to move forward towards your goals and your dreams. So it's a ticketed event happening Saturday, November 23rd, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the video description box. It'll take you to Eventbrite, where you can read more details. So the details of the event is on Eventbrite, so you can just read it there. You'll see the ticket prices there if you desire to come. It's pretty straightforward. You purchase your ticket. You'll get the Zoom link, and I will see you there for those who desire to come to that. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves. Let's do our best to be kind. Let's also be careful as we're out and about in these streets. Let's take our common sense. Let's take our godly wisdom and our discernment with us. God bless you. Keep on keeping on. Don't let anybody dull your shine. Don't let anybody stop you from rising and thriving, including your own self. Be great, be godly, be gracious, be graceful. Let's do our best. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon. No matter who you are, you will have haters. John 15 verse 18 says, if the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. So if you have haters, know that God is greater than your haters. Lately you've been feeling the weight of your haters coming at you with their envy and their hate, scheming against you, throwing mud on your name. But God's gonna work it out despite their lies and game. God is greater, so much greater than your haters. God is greater, don't give up, it'll pay off later. God is greater, through the pain you're a giant slayer. Let the haters hate while you elevate. Pay no mind to the critics. Be about your goals. Keep rising, keep shining. Your haters can't stop no show. They can hate all they want to. Remember you are blessed. Never let a hater see you sweat, 'cause this is just a test. God is greater, so much greater than your haters. God is greater, don't give up, it'll pay off later. God is greater, through the pain you're a giant slayer. Let the haters hate while you elevate. Don't let the negativity poison your mind. Run your race with grace, one day at a time. They can laugh and they can mock you, but you won't miss a beat. When people don't receive you, shake the dust off your feet. God is greater, so much greater than your haters. God is greater, don't give up, it'll pay off later. God is greater, through the pain you're a giant slayer. Let the haters hate while you